Okay, good morning, everyone. We are Today we will start with solving two-step equations. We've already done the rules. We have already worked with one-step equation using all four rules. And so we're moving on today to solving two-step equations. We have Sparky on the side here. Sparky is not very happy because right now he wants to know why we're mixing up letters with math. But could Sparky do anything about that? Can he find the person responsible for that? No, he has to go way back into a time machine.
Just a reminder to the students, you can place all your responses to the questions in the chat. Place all your queries that you would like further help on in the question and answer section, please.
And another thing, Ms. Woodside, when we're solving, they can do the working. We need to see the working. They probably can do the working in the chat because they can't just look at it and give answers. It wouldn't help them.
Right? When you're in the exam, there will be points allotted for your process or for your working. So it'll help us to help you to see the process that you're doing so that we can correct you wherever we see an error, okay?
Okay, so notice Sparky is going to be our company this morning. He says, my goal is to find the person responsible for mixing letters in with math, but I'm afraid he cannot do that. We'll need a time machine and travel back way back to around 210 AD to do that, Sparky. That is not possible.
You're using the arrow to click or the mouse to click. What are you clicking with?
I am using the arrow, but I don't see it moving.
If you go in with the right arrow, is what you should be clicking. The right arrow is what you should be clicking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to define one-step equations. You've already worked with one-step equations, so you should be able to define it. You should be able to define and identify two-step equations. And the third objective is for you to solve two-step equations using inverse operations. Now, we were working with one-step equations using inverse operations, so it's the same thing. Now, define the term equation. Just write your answer. An equation is a mathematical sentence that contains blank. What is missing from that statement? Now, if you have an equal sign, that is correct. Now, define the term inverse operations. Okay. Inverse operations are opposite operations that undo each other. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations, and you already know that. Multiplication and division are also inverse operations. Now, what is a one-step equation? Do we have answers coming in, Ms. Woodside?
Can you guys try to explain your understanding of a one-step equation, please?
Because we've already worked with one-step equation, so you should be able to say what it is.
Latara says an equation that has one simple process to solve it.
Well, I can accept that. It's an equation with only one operation. A one-step equation is an equation with only one operation. So, what is a two-step equation? If a one-step equation has only one operation to be performed in order to solve, then what is a two-step equation?
Sarah Says that it's an equation with two operations.
Very good, Sarah. Very good. It's an
Good, Latara
equation with
and Alicia.
two operations. Good job. Now, what am I? Write the following words next to each algebraic statement. You can write the word expression, one-step equation, or the phrase two-step equation. So we have 5 of them. I'll give you a chance to be able to identify whether it's an expression, a one-step equation, or a two-step equation.
Okay. Some answers coming in.
Minutes?
Charles. I'll read them as they come in because they go up the chat.
No, we'll get answers. We'll do answers together. So just
Okay.
hold a
Let
minute.
them try.
Yes.
So keep bracket up your answers, you guys, so that you compare when we tell you what the right ones are.
Okay. You think we can go ahead with the answers?
Everybody so far up to C. Let them try to get down to D, E first. And when I see some E responses, I'll tell you.
All right.
Okay, 1. Okay, we look about ready to.
All right. Here we go. 8. X plus 2 is equal to 5. That is a one-step equation. You have that? That is good. B, 3k plus k, take away 2k. And we say that that is an expression. So why is it an expression? An expression doesn't have the equal sign. It just has the terms, and the terms are connected by the operation signs. C, 3x plus 7 is equal to 16. That is a two-step equation. D, 42 is equal to 9g plus 6. That is also a two-step equation. And 8 is equal to p, take away 4. That is a one-step equation. So now we should be able to recognize the difference and know if we have an expression, or if we have a one-step equation or a two-step equation. Now, we look at this video, we're doing algebra, and this is a little song about solving equations. Let's.
We're doing algebra. We love that algebra. We're doing algebra. We love that algebra. Algebra is my favorite class. I like the way it uses different kinds of math, such as operations and variables. It makes my brain feel so wonderful. I like expressions and equations too. My favorite thing is to solve them, dude. I like the unknowns, I like the ratios, cause it's algebra and I'm in the know. We're doing algebra. We love that algebra. We're doing algebra. We love that algebra. Let's talk about solving equations, addition, subtraction, or multiplication. Start on the side with the variable and do the inverse operation, sir. To get the variable alone is what it's about. And once you do this, you can cancel them out. Now do the same thing to the other side and bring the variable down and the equal sign. Let's try one that takes some patience. I'm talking about a two-step equation like 3x minus 5 equals 13. Start on the side with the x, you see. First thing I'm gonna do is get rid of 5. The inverse operation is addition, right? Do the same thing to the other side and bring down 3x and the equal sign. Now we're not quite done, X isn't alone. We gotta do the inverse, it's division, yo. This cancels out the 3 and leaves the X. Gotta do the same thing to the other side next. So I found that the value of X is 6. That's the answer, you can circle it. Yeah, we just did a little bit of algebra in the United States of America.
Now, equation solving. When we solve equations, our goal is to find the value of the variable. The solution, which would be the value is the solution to the equation. Now, if we have the equation 14x, take away 37 is equal to 173, we see the variable term is 14x. X is our variable. So, okay, solving, that was a two-step equation, and we're now solving 2 steps. Now we have a warning. Those persons who missed out with the one-step equation, please heed the warning. To find the solution to an equation, we isolate the variable. We already know that by mathematically undoing, which is the same as using inverse operations. Now, if you can name a 2-step equation, you will automatically know how to undo or how to solve it. Now, check this out. There are 4 types of 2-step equations. Equations where we have multiplication and addition. Equations where we have multiplication and subtraction. Equations where we have division and addition. And equations where we have division and subtraction. Now, what type of equation is this? 4x take away 5 is equal to 11. Which one of the 4 equations will we say that one belongs to?
Put all of your answers in the chat, please.
Okay, do we have answers?
Good job, Sarah and Kanisha. It is multiplication and subtraction they're saying.
Very good. If you said multiplication and subtraction, you're correct. Now, name the following equations. Remember, it is multiplication and addition, multiplication and subtraction, or division and addition, or division and subtraction. Name those so we can identify those so we can move along. Do we have all 4 answers?
We're getting addition, division and addition for A.
Answers coming up. So if they just write the answer and they hold it, we will get the answers.
Yeah.
Ready? Number 1, x divided by 9 plus 5 is equal to 10. And that one is division and addition. 7 is equal to 6y, take away 11. And that is multiplication and subtraction. Can you recognize it? 4n plus 8 is equal to 24. That is multiplication and addition. And number 4, 3 is equal to r divided by 2 minus 17. And that is division and subtraction. Check your answers and see how many you got out of all 4. Anybody has 4 out of 4? Put a yes or a thumbs up or something so we can see. Anybody with 4 out of 4? Okay, 2-step equations. How does name an equation help you solve them? Well, that's a great question. It helps us because we can use inverse operations to solve the equations. We just use the opposite of an operation's name to solve it. So once we can see what operations are there, it makes it easier for us to find the inverse and be able to use it. Now, with just one catch, Now, you must undo, when we're solving, first, you must undo the addition or subtraction part first. We'll show you what I'm talking about. Because see, Sparky is getting excited, so he needs to calm down and pay attention. Now, let's start with this equation. We have 7n plus 4 is equal to 5. What is the first step that we should use to solve this? First of all, we need to identify the type of equation. What type of equation is this? Right? We need to name the equation. And this equation is multiplication addition equation. Step number 2, we need to name the inverse. What is the inverse of multiplication? What is the inverse of addition? The inverse of multiplication is division. The inverse of addition is subtraction. And undo. So what do we, step number 3 now, we have to undo the subtraction part first. So let's start. We notice we will take away 4 from each side. When we take away 4 from each side, then we now have 7n is equal to 4. Is it familiar now? What do we have now? We have multiplication. So what do? We undo the multiplication part by using division, and we divide both sides by 7. And so n is equal to 7. Now, don't forget to check the solution. What do we do to check the solution? We just substitute our value for n into our equation. And so we now have 7 times 7 plus 4 is equal to 53. And so we know that our solution was correct. Now let's try another one. I'll give you some time to try this. First, remember, identify the type of equation, find the inverse for the operations, and then go ahead and solve your equation.
Good job, Dia.
Somebody is finished already?
No, she's giving you the steps.
All right, good. And after she finds her steps, then she can go ahead and solve. We'll get the answer together. Name the equation. What is that equation? That is division and subtraction. Next step, we name the inverse of division and the inverse of subtraction. So that is multiplication and addition. So in order to solve, we know we have multiplication and addition. Which one should we do first? We should add first. Because remember, we will do addition and subtraction first. So we add first. The 6 is canceled out and we're left with 8. So x divided by 8 is equal to 11. Are we finished? No. Our next step then, we will undo the division part by using multiplication. And what do we multiply by? We multiply both sides by 8. The 8 cancels out from x, and we're left with x is equal to 88. Now, don't forget, remember, we check our solution, and that prevents us from passing up wrong answers. And so, that is our answer. X is equal to 88, the correct solution.
The vast majority of them got that. Good job, guys.
Now, Sparky says he's actually starting to understand this stuff. Are you like Sparky? Do you understand what you're doing? If you follow the steps we've given, then there should be no mistakes. You should all be able to solve correctly. Now, let's try a couple more. We have 10y minus 11 is equal to 69. Go ahead and work. Remember the first thing, even if you do, you have to recognize. You recognize the type of equation, then you find the inverse of the operations, and then you go ahead and you work. Anyone is finished?
And the answers are coming in. The answers are 8. Y equals 8.
Okay, let's see. 10 minus y, we name it. And so we know it's a multiplication and a subtraction operations. Think of the inverse of that, which gives us division and addition. So we can now undo the subtraction. So to undo the subtraction, we will add 11 to both sides. When we add 11 to both sides, we now have 10y is equal to 80. And now we're not finished. Undo the multiplication. To undo the multiplication, we divide both sides by 10. And so y is equal to 8. 8 is the correct answer. Now, but remember, we can also check our answer. And so 10 times 8 minus 11 is 69. So we know that our answer is correct. Now, last one. 18 is equal to n divided by 7 plus 9. Work.
Check your naming for me.
We have quite a few answers.
I'm coming in.
Okay.
Tavara, check right. I see a correction now, Tavara.
Okay, we'll give them a couple minutes more.
Ross, check it. I don't understand how you got that. You have two constants equal each other. Good. Good, Shayel. Okay, I think they're finished submitting their responses for the most part.
First step, we name the equation. And this equation, 18 is equal to n divided by 7 plus 9 is division and addition and equation. So what do? Step number 2, we think of the inverse of those two operations. And the inverse of those two operations would be multiplication and subtraction. So step number 3, remember we will undo the addition first. To undo the addition first, what do? We take away 9 from both sides. When we take away 9 from both sides, we now have 9 is equal to n divided by 7. Are we finished? No. So what we need to do now, we need to undo division. How do we undo division? We undo division by using multiplication. So we multiply both sides by 7. 7 times 9 is 63. So n is equal to 63. So what is the caution that we must use? Our caution is to do our answer check. So how do we do our answer check? We substitute the solution in the place of the variable. So we now have 18 is equal to 63 divided by 7 plus 9. And so 18, 9 plus 9.
Let's call it, slow down for some of them, please.
Pardon?
Slow down for some of them, please.
All right, I'm going too fast. Where? Right here? Okay, with the answer check you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the answer check, we found when we multiplied both sides by 7, 7 9 is equal to 63. So we now have 63 is equal to n. And we can just switch it around because when we give our answer to an equation, we try to keep the variable on the left-hand side. So it's the 63 is equal to n is the same as n is equal to 63. Now we want to check to make sure that the answer we get, that our solution is correct. How do we do that? We write the original equation, and in the place of the variable, we write in our answer. So we have our equation is 18 is equal to n divided by 7 plus 9. And so to do the answer check, we now have 18 is equal to, instead of n, we write in 63. 63 divided by 7 plus 9. 63 divided by 7 is equal to 9. So now we have 18 is equal to 9 plus 9. Is that true? Is that true? Yes, it is true. 18 is equal to 9 plus 9. Now, it's time to show your skills. And we have 6 problems for you to do. We'll give you time to do it. It says solve the following equations. Be sure to include the variable with your answer. Do not write the answer alone. Your answer is written in equation form. X is equal to whatever your solution is. So we have 6 problems for you to work. We'll give you time to solve. Remember, follow the steps that we just learned. Okay? Go ahead and start your working.
Yes, everyone, this is practice.
This is
We want to
practice. We're striving to see that we can be a master at this and get 6 out of 6. Who will be those persons who can get 6 out of 6 correct? When they're finished, Ms. Wasai, we will have the answers will come up for them.
Let's move on to the other ones.
Fine, we can check how many persons have answered.
No, they're not. Most of them are like at number 4, if that far.
Number 4. Okay. Let's do. Number 1 answer is 3x. Equation 3x plus 6 is equal to 18. Now, I'm not going through the steps. I'm only giving answers now because you should be able to follow the steps. And so we're checking answers. 3x plus 6 is equal to 18. X is equal to 4. If you have that, you can give yourself a pat on the back. Okay. Number 4 answer is, okay, x divided by 2 plus 2 is equal to 10. The answer, x is equal to 16. Equation 9 plus 6b is equal to 51. B is equal to 7. I hope that you've been setting down and following the steps. If you sat down and you've done your work and follow the steps, then there is no reason why your answer should be incorrect. X divided by 3, take away 5 is equal to 7. X is equal to 36. And then we have 5x take away 4 is equal to 16. X is equal to 4. 4 plus y divided by 5 is equal to 8? And that answer says y is equal to 28. Now, if you have all 6 answers correct, in the chat, write the word yes.
Okay, we have most of them that says yes, but some didn't get all, and some didn't get to finish.
Okay. What we need to do, I probably will wait a little more, but some of you need to go home and practice, and you need to work a little faster because remember, we have a limited time and we have quite a few participants. So we need to work a little faster. Now, solving two steps equations. How did you do on the practice problems, Sparky? Now, how did you do? Some of you did quite well, but some of you, even if you did not finish all 6 and you had the majority or all of what you did correct, then that is a good sign that you have followed the steps and you understand what was being done. Remember what our objective was. Our objective was to be able to solve two-step equations, right? So you need to be able, you can go home, you can practice. There will be, Sparky said, I did great with your help. Knowing multiplication and division facts also made things easier. So once you can recognize the type of fraction you have, and you are good with your times table, and you are good with the multiplication and division, you'll be able to work faster. Now, is there any chance you can give me some pointers on, oh gosh, okay, this is Sparky. All right, so, all right. So we have a worksheet that will be linked to the lesson. And so for those of you who can go in and download the worksheet, it will be very good practice for you. Now, if you have questions at this time, we can listen to your questions or concerns about today's lesson.
Okay, they are in the Q&A. Some persons have concerns.
Okay, what is the concern?
I'm trying to figure it out. When y'all have questions or concerns in the Q&A, can you be specific so that we can help to clarify? Miss Colette, where do they go to access the worksheet?
Okay, when, because remember they know that it is recorded. When they go in to check the lesson, I'll have the worksheet set in there so that they can get it.
I have persons asking if they're able, if they can go on YouTube or any other educational site to further understand the concept. You can. Google is everybody's friend. We can Google worksheets on two-step.
They can type in two-step equations on YouTube and they can get some, they may see some videos. But how many of them have problem understanding? Do they understand the steps to follow?
For the most part, everybody that came in on time understands, or came in halfway. They do understand. The questions are coming from persons that logged on late. So those of you that logged on late, the lessons will be uploaded. The recordings of this lesson will be uploaded for you to review, and you can do it at your own pace, so that you can pause and play as it goes, so that you can figure out where it is that you got lost or that you needed further clarification on as it relates to the steps and the calculations.
And another thing, the persons, they know that the class begins at 9 o'clock. If you are not so good in math and especially in algebra, then you have to try to sign in on time so you can get all go over the review and the introductions and the examples. And so when you come in late, you're in the middle of it, and especially if you haven't done it before, then you'll be at a disadvantage. This is like school, just that you're not sitting in the room with us. So try to be on time. We start at 9. Try to sign in for the math class at 9 o'clock. And then if you don't have another class, another subject after, then you can go back to sleep. But you need to sign in early. It will be more beneficial to you, because when you come in late, you'll be losing out, okay? So tomorrow is another lesson, and we're still on algebra. Try to be on time. I'll see you tomorrow.
Living with a Black Dog, a guide for partners, carers and sufferers. What not to say or do. You may well be right when you say, it's all in your head, but don't say it. Leave that up to the professionals. Be a man. This certainly doesn't help, especially if they are one already. Depression is an illness, not a sign of weakness. Don't be an armchair general who gives unfounded advice and orders. Being thoughtful and kind will never go amiss, but don't try and jolly them along. It can often make them feel worse. Don't point out that there are people in this world far worse off than them. It just adds to their feelings of guilt and hopelessness. Good things to say and do. Be sensitive about how you approach the subject. A lot of people aren't used to talking about their mental health, or lack of it. Crossing that line simply means you care. Try not talking. Instead, grow your ears and open your heart. Really being there for someone without opinion or judgment is one of the best gifts you can ever give. Encourage them to seek a professional opinion and offer to help find a good doctor, make an appointment, and even going with them can be hugely beneficial. Encourage any form of regular exercise. Fitness robs the dog of its power. Help them develop a strategy to simplify their life, both at home and at work. Stress is one of the biggest drivers of depression. Less stress means less dog. Make them a ditch the dog box. Encourage them to fill it with favourite photographs, letters, or anything that reminds them of what's good in their life. Include a dog journal. Here they can plot how they're feeling, acknowledge progress, record the things they're grateful for, and set doable goals. Embracing the black dog. Agree to a course of action to get rid of the black dog. An ignored dog can become a big problem. Learn about the condition together. Knowledge is power, and validation is a great healer. A united front is crucial in getting the black dog to move on. As a caregiver, compassion, empathy, and understanding are vital, but recognise that you alone don't have the power to rescue your loved one. Professional help is often what's needed. Finding the right doctor can make all the difference to a healthy recovery. If they're going to tell someone their problems, it should be someone they respect and feel comfortable with. Don't be afraid to go for an initial assessment, and don't feel committed to continue if it doesn't feel right. If it's suggested you take antidepressants, do your research, know the facts, and ask your doctor plenty of questions. A big obstacle for seeking professional help is the cost. Help them realise that the cost of not getting the right help can be considerably higher. It can cost marriages, friendships, jobs, and even life itself. Some simple rules of engagement and agreement. Agree that there is a black dog in your midst and things may have to change temporarily. Agree that no one can help them until they fully commit to helping themselves. Agree to be gentle and respectful with one another during this time. Agree to check in with each other on a regular basis. Agree to communicate honestly and openly. Agree to the course of action set by their doctor and to review progress regularly. Self-preservation for the caregiver. It can be difficult not to take anger, criticism, negativity, and apathy personally. It's important not to buy into it. Accept that it's the depression barking, not the person you care for. Being overexposed to someone else's black dog can begin to rub off. Misery loves company, so try not to get sucked into the vortex. It's really important to recognise and honour your own needs, limitations, and boundaries. Difficult situations are better dealt with when you are calm and in the moment. Yoga, meditation, and mindfulness are great tools for achieving calmness and control. Join a support group. There's nothing like being in a room full of people who understand and share your story. It's important to get out and do your own thing and be with friends. Friends may not be able to solve your problems, but they can offer incredible support, comfort, wisdom, and laughter. A black dog in any relationship can be confronting, frightening, and frustrating. But navigated together, the bond can become deeper, richer, and better for it. And finally, the most important aspect of this journey is to constantly remind each other, it will pass, it will pass, it will pass. If you have a black dog in your life, get help, be helped, and always hold on to hope.
Cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, and chronic respiratory diseases are known as non-communicable diseases. In recent years, these diseases have increased as a result of population aging, urbanization, globalization, and changes in lifestyles, and they've become the great epidemic of our age. Non-communicable diseases can largely be prevented by adopting a healthy lifestyle, but to do so requires more than simply personal determination. For example, when wholesome food is more expensive and less available than junk food. When physical activity is a challenge because the parks and recreation areas are not safe or properly equipped. Or when it's hard to quit smoking or drinking because advertising of these products seems to be all around us. That is why laws and regulations are needed to make the healthy choice the easiest choice. Without these laws and regulations, more and more people will develop a non-communicable disease and need lifelong treatment that could ruin them financially. But there's still time to stop this epidemic from growing, and some countries in the Americas have already taken action by, for example, reformulating processed foods to make them healthier, informing consumers about the nutrition content of packaged foods, making more fresh foods available, regulating the sale of junk food in schools, as well as providing free drinking water, increasing taxes on tobacco, alcohol, and sugar-sweetened beverages, facilitating access to quit smoking programs, banning tobacco use in enclosed public spaces, and limiting the advertising of cigarettes, alcohol, and junk food. Creating opportunities for physical activity, including creating recreational bicycle paths and promoting the use of public transportation. Governments should ensure access to health services for its population, including access to early detection of disease, diagnosis, medicines, and treatment provided without discrimination and without undue financial hardship. People should be provided with information and support that empowers them to manage their own health, giving them greater control over their health and contributing to the health of their families. This way, all together, we can stop this terrible epidemic from getting worse and enjoy longer, more productive lives. Healthy public policies and healthy lifestyles are the prescription to prevent and control non-communicable diseases. Please share this information, and if you want to find out more, visit our website.